Ted, thank you very much. Don't go far. Lucas, we're hearing now from the Secret Service getting some kind of reaction and update to what happened. What do we know?
Well, Shannon, we just received a statement from the White House which says, and I'm just going to read it, President Biden has received an initial briefing on the incident at former President Trump's rally. It's notable, Shannon, that they are not calling this a shooting right now. And the Secret Service also out with a new statement saying, quote, an incident occurred the evening of July 13th at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has implemented protective measures and the former president is safe. This is now an active Secret Service investigation, and further information will be released when available. So the big takeaway from there, Shannon, is the Secret Service and the White House are not calling this a shooting right now at former President Trump's rally. They're merely calling it an incident. So we'll stay tuned on what more they have to say, Shannon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live right now with images on your screen reporting to you that moments ago at a rally in Butler County, Pennsylvania, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, was shot in an assassination attempt. We have this image on screen for you to show you that Donald Trump is alive. Donald Trump has survived an assassination attempt. I repeat, Donald Trump has survived an assassination attempt. Right now is the image on your screen of Donald Trump. This is real. This image was taken moments ago at a large rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, of President Trump, blood pouring from his face with his fist in the air, defiant and shouting, "Keep fighting." We have the footage, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a breaking news environment right now. This is all happening from seconds ago. You can see the Secret Service encompassing Donald Trump, surrounding Donald Trump, tackling Donald Trump to the ground is what happened. I wanted to show you these images and start with these images of President Trump. As you can see, he is bleeding from his ear. As you can see, President Trump has blood on his face. Donald Trump has, by the very best of our ability to gather information and news right now, which is breaking across the world, been shot. Shots rang out. Many shots rang out. We will play you the clip in a moment. We will not play you gruesome clips because, according to reports, there are dead bodies now at the scene. Donald Trump has survived. Donald Trump has survived. But Donald Trump has been wounded in an attack. Let's go immediately to the spokesperson for the Secret Service. The Secret Service tackled Donald Trump to the ground. This was just posted seconds ago. An incident occurred on the evening of July 13th at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service have implemented protective measures of the former president is safe. This is now an active Secret Service investigation. Further information will be released when available. Donald Trump has been shot in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has confirmed that Secret Service has surrounded Donald Trump and taken protective measures to save his life. A statement from the Trump campaign, ladies and gentlemen, from seconds ago. Let me get through these statements. And I wanted to show you the photos of Donald Trump alive and survived and with his fist in the air and defiant. The Trump statement right now. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during the heinous act. He is fine, they say. He's being checked out at a local medical facility. More details to follow. A reminder that President Trump travels with an entire medical staff ambulance, large amounts of blood, an entire medical team, a devoted doctor just for President Trump. He is able to be attended to very, very quickly. We are in a breaking news environment. Donald Trump has been shot in Pennsylvania. Here is the clip of the moment. When shots rang out, that is the best way that we can describe them. Forgive us because some reports say that they don't know if it's a shooting just yet, but you can hear clear as a bell what sounds like shots. And of course, you can see Donald Trump bleeding from his face. So he was hit by something. He was hit by some projectile. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about all of it. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the clip. We're going to play a number of these for you. Here we go. This is the moment during the rally when President Trump was shot.
You know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through this clip and we're going to show you what happened to the best of our abilities. This is the clearest footage we have yet. Some of the footage has been grainy, and from the audience, you're going to hear right here as Donald Trump is doing his classic Donald Trump riff. Donald Trump speaking actually about the battle between good and evil here at this rally. This rally is being attended by an enormous amount of people. We don't have a full number yet, but it was a sea of people as ever with a MAGA rally. You can hear the shots ring out right here. We're going to go through this clip frame by frame. Here we go.
The chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So you can hear there, and you can see Donald Trump's immediate reaction. Donald Trump's immediate reaction is he reaches for his ear. Donald Trump reaches for his ear, and it looks like he winces here. This is Donald Trump. This is presumably an impact moment when some projectile hit Donald Trump. Now, you can hear also the sound. Anybody who is familiar with firearms knows this sound. This is the very, this is a sound that is the concussion of a ballistic. This is a gun. This is somebody is shooting a gun here at Donald Trump. They get off multiple shots. Donald Trump hit in the ear here, and then he gets down, and you can see the matter of time there is exactly 1 second. And you can see the first Secret Service agent arrives, followed by a phalanx of Secret Service agents. Let's watch one more time.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Trump goes down, hits the deck, and the reactions from the crowd as well as Secret Service agents barrel in. Please watch. You can hear multiple shots also being fired here. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots. Perhaps one more shot there. The audience screaming.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
And now you can see then the tactical team. So you have different levels of Secret Service here. You can see all the Secret Service barrel in on Trump. These are the suit Secret Service is one branch of the Secret Service. You can see they're represented by this guy right here. I'm going to try my hardest not to jump too quickly here in the clip. But then you can see the tactical Secret Service. These are paramilitary special forces operation that comes rolling through.
Move to spare. Hold.
Here we go.
When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to spare.
Spare, get ready.
There we go. See this guy? These are the guys you do not F around with. These are the guys that did multiple tours in Afghanistan, Iraq. These are the guys who are the killers. This is the paramilitary Secret Service. You never see them. You see the guys in the suits with the sunglasses and the earpieces. These are the guys that actually do the business. These guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of many clips. Let us continue, but this is the clip. This is the clearest that we have so far. I have our entire production team on hand right now. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, if we have more information, but this is the clearest clip that we have right now of what happened. Now, you are not going to believe what I'm about to show you next. Your jaw is about to fall onto the ground. Donald Trump was shot by some manner of ballistic. The reason I have to say it like that is because I've been to so many Trump rallies. You have most likely been to a Trump rally. I have great, deep, and abiding respect for the Secret Service, and I am telling you that there is no way that somebody was able to get a firearm into the Trump rally. I do not know how this happened. Listen, when you go to the Trump rally, even when you're an invited guest, I've been backstage, right? When you're an invited guest, you still go through the Secret Service. It doesn't matter. Full on metal detectors, like massive one, not the stuff they have at the airport. I mean, you're talking like massive metal detectors. Bags, any bag, no bags are allowed in. But the bags that you do bring in, let's say you're with the media, get sniffed by a dog, get gone through, right? By every, like, it is a deeply sophisticated process. The capacity to bring a firearm in, given the withering conditions, and I've been to hundreds at this point of Trump rallies, hundreds of Trump rallies. We've flown with Trump to Trump rallies. We've been on his plane. We've been backstage with him. We've been the guy. I've literally been the guy that ushers Donald Trump on stage before. We've pretty much done it all. Never have I not gone through a not only a huge background check, but also a massive personal check of my person. Anytime I was anytime I was close to Donald Trump. So that's why this must be. I don't know what kind of ballistic this is. If you know, sound off in the chat. But this was some type of ballistic. I don't know how they would get a firearm in here. I just had to stop and say my piece there. We'll have more on that, ladies and gentlemen, in a moment. But here we have the clip of Donald Trump after he had been shot. Here we have the clip of Donald Trump surrounded by the Secret Service, bleeding from his face, clearly in a position where he has every right to be in shock and or demand just protection and to leave the stage as quickly as possible. And what does Donald Trump do? Your jaw is about to hit the floor. Here we go.
Something that would be not a gun as we understand it, also be capable of sustaining an injury. I mean, certainly causing panic here.
Certainly could cause panic. I mean, look, likely in light of the wounds and in light of apparently there was some smoke spotted, that it almost certainly seems to be a firearm.
I'm going to mute this clip because what they're saying doesn't matter. Watch Trump. Look at Trump. This is Trump raising his fist in the air, saying, keep fighting. Keep fighting, he says. Trump breaks out of his Secret Service protective bubble. He breaks out of the human phalanx that he's currently in, and he jams his fist in the air, and he says, keep fighting in what is, without question, I am telling you right now, history. You are witnessing history live. This is history live, 100% in the making. You are witnessing right now in this moment, Donald Trump, fist in the air, shouting defiantly, keep fighting. To the best of our abilities, that's what we believe Donald Trump was shouting in that moment. Keep fighting. This is now and will perhaps forever more will be the most iconic photo in the history of American politics. There is no more iconic photograph in the history of American politics than this, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. They will. Trump's mugshot and other images of Trump entering North Korea comes to mind. Donald Trump doing a number of historic things whilst president and also while running. Donald Trump's mugshot, obviously very, very popular. They'll put this on Rushmore. They'll put this on Mount Rushmore. This will be what they carve into mountainsides. Mark my words. Here is another one, ladies and gentlemen. A defiant Donald Trump, fist in the air, breaking out. Please understand what has just happened here. Donald Trump has broken out of his protective Secret Service bubble where he is supposed to just be a good little boy and put his head down because he was just shot in the face. You could see the blood on his face. And instead, Donald Trump bursts forth and raises his fist in the air defiantly, declaring that he will not back down. I have chills. I am at a loss for words. Not a place that I often find myself. I am at a loss for words. Another image of this happening live. Here, you can hear him. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a breaking news environment. We can hear what the president says here. Let's listen. Look at him go. Look at him go. Here it is. There it is. The iconic moment that will live forever. You are witnessing history. You are right now witnessing history. This clip. We're gonna play this clip 20 times in a row. Here we go. Donald Trump says, wait. Let's break this clip down. Let's do the let's break this clip down. Donald Trump says, wait. He demands that the Secret Service allow him to say something to the America First, to MAGA, to the entire world, breathlessly watching. And Donald Trump says, keep fighting. To the best of my ability, Donald Trump says, keep fighting. Producers, let me know if you see something different. What does Trump say here? Fight. He says, fight. Fight. Donald Trump says, keep fighting. What a legend. What a legend. This man. This man. This is the toughest son of a bitch that ever lived. Look at this man. Look at this man. Look at this man. I have consulted with a medical expert who's a medical expert in trauma. I want to talk to you about what we know, because the best that we have right now is that clearly something pierced Donald Trump's skin and he is bleeding. A ballistic of some type pierced Donald Trump's skin. And I've already covered how, never say never, but I've gone to hundreds of Trump events. I've been the man who ushered Donald Trump on stage. I have been on stage at Trump events. I've been backstage at Trump events. I've been in the front row at Trump events, and I've flown on Trump's plane to Trump events. I've also simply just been an audience member out just hanging, because the MAGA rallies are incredible. How you would get a firearm, how you would get a firearm, as you and I understand it, into this event of any size or caliber is gobstopping to me. It is breathtaking. I do not know how you would do it. I don't know. Some ballistic struck Donald Trump. Now, here's what I spoke. I spoke with a trauma expert, a trauma 1 unit expert, and they said the real issue here that Donald Trump is going to be, this looks like it is not life-threatening, but what is really problematic are potential brain bleeds. The concussion of bullets can be as damaging as bullets themselves. The concussion effects, the hemorrhaging effects, and the potential for a brain bleed or some type of damage because of the impact. The impact of the expert I spoke with, the medical expert I spoke with that deals with trauma every single day, described the impact of a bullet being like jumping off your roof, the roof of your house, and hitting your head on the ground. Something slams into your head. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we are witnessing right now. That is just the best that I've heard. Okay, our producers are also viciously scouring the internet for any new information that we could potentially have on this issue. I'm going to get through some of what has been sent right now. We have a lot of breaking news. Here is your image. This is your image. This was just released seconds ago. This was just released. Okay, so let's break this down. Obviously, Donald Trump is being surrounded by your uniformed Secret Service agents. Donald Trump is surrounded with agents and holsters. Donald Trump, they have created a human wall around Donald Trump, barreled through into a human phalanx. You can see here. That's what's happening here. You can see the tactical arms up. Tactical team up. Now, these guys are typically out of the shot. You do not see them. You've maybe gone to MAGA rallies yourself. Have you ever seen guys like this? Rarely. Just little peeks of them. They try to stay away, but they understand what's going on. This man is now up on stage protecting the protectee, protecting President Trump. I'm going to ask a question to my producers. Do we know that the shooter is dead? Do we know of any fatalities? Let me know. I believe that the shooter is dead. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:36 Eastern Standard Time. At 7:36 Eastern Standard Time, President Donald Trump has been shot. He has been hit with a ballistic of some type and is bleeding and has been taken in, according to the Secret Service and Donald Trump's own team. Donald Trump is, and I quote, fine. The shooter is dead. The shooter has died. We do not know anything about the shooter as of now. Is that correct? Yes. The shooter is dead. There is at least one dead in the crowd. That is horrifying. That is a horrifying thing to hear. Awful. A rally attendee has been killed. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. A rally attendee has been killed. Shooter dead on the roof, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, this is a breaking news environment. So we are going to move as cautiously and carefully, and we are going to give you the best advice, the best news that we possibly can, and our best advice, inclination, expertise on this. And let's continue. Confirmed. Butler County District Attorney tells me one person, and what is the source here? The source here is an Emmy Award-winning journalist, local news, with the local news there out of Pittsburgh. Butler County District Attorney tells me that a person is believed to be dead. Donald Trump is okay. No confirmation of the shooter just yet. The shooter is dead. Shooter dead, rally attendee killed. Trump whisked off stage after gunshots ring out. So the Associated Press is calling them gunshots. Again, forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, but it just is so difficult for me to conceive of a shooter on somebody getting a gun smuggled into one of these rallies. You have been to one of these rallies. If you've been to one of these rallies, you realize the lines for these rallies are so long because every person is going through a metal detector, and you're not allowed to have bags. You're not allowed to bring anything in. So this was an operation. This was an operation. Let's continue through the breaking news. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an unbelievable shot. An unbelievable shot. Not as iconic as this or this. But this is the Secret Service in action. Let's continue with the news. They just shot Donald Trump in the face at a rally in broad daylight. Here's a zoom in and close up of the full sequence of available footage so far. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive me, there was a small error there in my window playing screen. Okay, here we go again.
It looks like they are attempting to move him out, that he may have been injured. He is holding up his arm. He is pumping his fist, but clearly Secret Service wants to get him out of this situation. He is attempting to stand and walk on his own. He has got his hand pumping in the air. His fist is pumping in the air, but quickly they are removing him from the stage. This is happening very quickly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a longer live shot of how this was covered live on Fox. This is a longer live shot, okay? We've played you Donald Trump with his fist in the air. Let's go back just a few seconds, and you'll be able to see the full reaction here. As you can see, tactical teams swarming right now. Let's go back and see Donald Trump's full reaction and see what happened as they get him off stage. Here we go.
He is attempting to stand and walk on his own. He has got his hand pumping in the air. His fist is pumping in the air, but quickly they are removing him from the stage. This is happening very quickly. We are trying to ascertain what happened, but quickly we do know that immediately Secret Service was on him, jumping to protect him. Let's go to Alexis McAdams. She is there actually at the rally as President Trump is waving his fist, but look.
This is remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. I have not seen this footage yet. Watch Donald Trump as he gets into his vehicle. Please watch Donald Trump as he gets into his vehicle.
Do know that immediately Secret.
There's the president's hand once again in a defiant fist as he is utterly engulfed in Secret Service. A defiant fist.
Alexis McAdams, she is there actually at the rally as President Trump is waving his fist, but looks injured and is being taken out of this rally. Alexis, what can you tell us from there on site?
Well, Shannon, that was I mean, I can't even explain how quickly that just happened. I mean, he just was talking, it was showing the illegal immigration into the United States there on the graph. And then as he was standing up on stage, we heard at least, 4 or 5 shots. Then I saw Secret Service jump into action, and I saw local and federal authorities move in. I'm going to show you here and just kind of step out of the way. You can see here people coming in with their guns drawn here, trying to figure out exactly what happened. Everybody kind of tried to get down here on the media area and then in the crowd as well as they heard those shots fired. People waited here for hours, okay? We saw people up on the stage. I'm going to have my photographer kind of pan over here. You can see that they had some snipers right up here on top of the roof who had a watch on the crowd for hours, making sure everything was okay from a security perspective. We went to security when we had to come in. Not sure exactly where those shots came from at this point. We're trying to figure it out. But to hear that and then see the fall down there on that stage, I can't put into words. Talking to the people in the crowd and see as you're trying to.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching here is the live reaction. My producers have sent me the live reaction to this happening live, the chaos of what it looked like on Fox News when this happened live moments ago. Again, this happened within the hour. So you can see there the ambulances tearing off down the road. Let's continue. But if there is breakups or garbles, it's because Fox was so shocked. Fox was as shocked as we are right now during this live reporting moment. This was what it looked like live.
We're just trying to figure out.
Okay, we've lost. Okay, Alexis McAdams there at the rally with former President Trump, where it sounds like and it looks like, from what we can tell at this moment, that there was a shooting. It sounded like multiple shots fired. It appeared that there was some injury to President Trump. We do not know the extent of it. We know that he was holding his fist in the air. He was pumping it as he was taken away by the Secret Service, hurriedly getting him in. You saw that there is an ambulance there on the scene. That is standard protocol for any rally like this, any event like this, for this very kind of situation. We know nothing about the former president's potential injuries or current condition, other than we saw him pumping his fist and holding his fist up. There's enormous security at these rallies, Secret Service, local, and many others who are involved. You can see that this crowd is stunned. Alexis McAdams is there explaining just the mood of how this would feel. You witnessed it if you are watching this rally. We are trying to find out what happened, if there is a suspect, if the suspect is in custody or taken down. It would not be surprising, because there was very quick response, as there always would be in this kind of situation. This is developing very quickly. It has happened very quickly. As you can see, some law enforcement mulling around there. The crowd not moving, appearing to be stunned, and clearly they were in the midst of this, want to know what's happening as much as we are trying to get that information for you at home as well. Again, we did see the quick response as the Secret Service. You can hear them saying, "Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go?" There's always a plan in guarding a protectee to stabilize, get that situation under control, and quickly get them a path out of there. Again, we did see what looked like some kind of injury to President Trump. He was lifted up. He appeared stunned, but he was very much conscious. He was waving his fist. He was walking on his own with the help of others that looked assisting him. But as always, the idea is to get them quickly away from that situation. We will wait to hear from any kind of medical update from those who were there with him, from Secret Service and others. But in the meantime,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the full clip live. There was some new information there. Donald Trump raising his fist up at the car, at the vehicle. And then, of course, the immediate live reaction from the reporter who was there. This is something that I really want to show you. Some of the reactions from the crowd, the people who were inside of the crowd. This is really important. These clips are pouring in right now. First and foremost, I want you to see Donald Trump's motorcade. You saw Donald Trump's motorcade leave in that clip. Here it is as it barrels down the road toward a local hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a extremely fast motorcade. The motorcade moves quickly, but I've never seen a motorcade move that fast for obvious reasons. No word again. Donald Trump travels with an ambulance with him everywhere. That ambulance is stocked with doctors who are ready to treat one man and one man alone, and that is President Trump. They have enormous amounts of blood in his blood type and every conceivable life-saving procedure at the ready for the president. And you would have to assume that perhaps Donald Trump was inside of that ambulance at some time during the ride today, or maybe not. I'm not exactly certain. We saw him get into his protective SUV, and presumably he'd have medical treatment ready and waiting there. Here, ladies and gentlemen, from inside of the rally, these are important things. We've heard from obviously the Secret Service, the Trump campaign. How about attendees at the rally? These are pouring in. Let's get some firsthand experiences and witnesses from what happened.
Where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there.
Oh,
and
no.
so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one who did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
This is a remarkable clip. Thank you, Robbie, for getting this one. Holy smokes. Okay, this is via Jake Rosen at CBS. This is a man covered in blood. We learned 3 important things here from this interview. I'm tempted to play it one more time. Here's what the man said. He said that presumably he was talking about the rally attendee. There was a rally attendee who was killed today, according to media reports. If that changes, I would love for that. I would like to tell you that that was an incorrect report. That is what we've heard so far. A rally attendee has been killed. This was an America First Donald Trump 2024 MAGA rally. There were tens of thousands in attendance, and he was shot and killed. What does this tell us? This is brand new information. This man apparently assisted and tried to give this man the deceased CPR. What does this tell us? This tells us that they could have and were attempting to murder Donald Trump. These were not spitballs. They were attempting to lethally murder Trump. They murdered someone else. We counted 7 shots. Perhaps there were far more. This was a murder attempt at Donald Trump. Now, the other reports, of course, out that we talked about earlier in the live is that the shooter is deceased. The shooter is dead. Shooter's been killed. But the shooter was able to get off 7 rounds. 7 rounds. This man saying that the lethality of these shots, I don't want to get too gruesome in describing this, but it was a headshot and the individual was killed. God rest their soul. God rest their soul. Ladies and gentlemen, more footage from the scene. Here we go. From the inside of the rally. So here is something that is kind of that is important in this current moment, the shooter was inside of the rally. There is no other way. There is no other way. The shooter was inside of the shooter was inside the rally. They were not firing from outside the rally. This is important information that we get from this man on the street. Man on the street, a firsthand witness, attempted to life save witness at the rally, saying the shooter was at the rally.
So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There's lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. So I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on a
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one
You
who
guys,
did
we
it.
need to evacuate everybody.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I missed the fact that this man is a medical professional himself, and this man says that he is himself a doctor, and so this man attempted to save the life of the MAGA rally Trump supporter who was shot and killed in an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. An assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Donald Trump. After the assassination attempt. Pumping his fist. Donald Trump leading a USA chant. This from a different angle. This is remarkable. This is remarkable. I am again. God has his hand on President Trump. God has his hand on President Trump. There is no other explanation for it. I'm a believer, and there are some moments where you just have to bow your head and recognize that the Almighty has plans. God has a plan. God has a plan, ladies and gentlemen. God has his hand on President Trump. Watch the fist pump here in reaction to the USA chant. This is a new angle, new footage. Donald Trump leads a USA chant whilst bleeding from the head from a bullet. Remarkable. It's the most remarkable moment potentially in American political history. So we move here, ladies and gentlemen, to X. What are some of the most powerful people on planet Earth saying? Elon Musk. The last time America had a candidate this tough was Theodore Roosevelt. He is referencing Theodore Roosevelt, who was a president who obviously fought in a number of wars, was one tough hombre, but also, if I'm recalling this correctly, was shot in an assassination attempt. He was shot and he was bleeding and he continued his speech. This is a thing of legend. That is a correct story about Theodore Roosevelt. And Elon Musk is now saying that he not only does he compare Trump to Theodore Roosevelt, not only does he donate to Donald Trump last night, but the world's richest and smartest and arguably most successful man now fully endorses President Trump. Elon Musk, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. Elon Musk, I fully endorse President Trump. The full Elon Musk endorsement has now happened. After Elon Musk watched Donald Trump get shot. Elon Musk, full endorsement, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk has now posted this photo on X. Elon Musk is funding Donald Trump. Elon Musk donated. It became public that Elon Musk donated to a pro-Trump super PAC. And now the world's richest, arguably most powerful, most accomplished, genius, a genius is Elon Musk, has now endorsed Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk posting this image on X. They impeached him, they indicted him, they tried to lock him up, and now they've tried to assassinate him. And here stands our president, ladies and gentlemen. Praying for President Trump, a dark day for America. He's fine. He got hit in the ear. He avoided a headshot by an inch. A tragic day for America. Saying leftists, says leftists and lifelong Democrats. Trump just survived an assassination attempt, says Tim Pool. Forget the mugshot. This is the picture we will all remember. Praise God, he is okay. Praise God. Pray for Donald Trump. I want to stop for a moment and ask my production team. Has the White House made a statement? The time is 7:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Silence from the White House as President Trump bleeds from the head after a bullet, a ballistic, struck him. Silence from our White House. Silence from our White House. You will not get silence from us. I'm looking at the chat right now. I want to ask every believer and every person with a soul in the chat to pray for President Trump. It is pinned to the top of the chat. Pray for President Trump. Pray. The hand of the Almighty is on President Trump, ladies and gentlemen. The power of prayer echoes through the heavens. Believe it. And so I ask for all believers to do what I did before we went live here, which is to hold your head and pray. Pray with everything you have. I do not want to try and do any type of scaremongering here. I simply need to repeat to you what the ballistics and trauma expert, medical expert told me, which is that getting struck by a bullet means that there could be concussive effects, there could be hemorrhaging, there could be impact effects. When a bullet strikes your head, it's as though you slammed your head, you jumped off your roof and you slammed your head on the concrete because of the impact force. So not for a moment should you stop praying in this instance. An image of President Trump, not AI, an image. As the Secret Service hands block his face, President Trump raises his fist in defiance. With the face of a lion. With the face of a lion. And a fist straight to heaven. President Trump, with all that is in him, says, fight. Continue the fight, says President Trump. Ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump was just shot live on TV. God protected Trump, says Marco Rubio. This is exactly correct. This is Marco Rubio's take. Marco Rubio is one of what we believe to be a two-person VP race right now between J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. Again, I want to state the world's richest and most accomplished, most successful, smartest, genius, and a man who all but controls the United States military, Elon Musk. And I could get into that. He controls lower space and controls all of our virtually all military capacity on Earth, Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk has endorsed Donald Trump, officially endorsed Donald Trump. Do we have has J.D. Vance? Look at this. Look at the filth, the despicable scumbag in chief. Look at this monster. Refuse to say a single thing about Donald Trump. Look at this sick degenerate, this sick in the head, syphilitic, despicable, old man. He's asleep by now. It is 8:01 p.m. Joe Biden is completely asleep. Silence. Silence from the White House. Silence from the Biden accounts. Nothing. When his presidential rival and his predecessor has been shot. Nothing from the White House. Nothing from Joe Biden's official account. Nothing from Joe Biden's personal account. Nothing. Complete and total silence. At this moment, I believe Donald Trump wins 50 states. At this moment, I would crawl through a broken, flaming glass to vote for Donald Trump. I would do anything to vote for Donald Trump. At this moment, I believe that Donald Trump wins in a landslide because in your nature, you know that you must only vote for the person that is truly willing to die for what they believe in, and that person will lead you better. I want my producers, please, to grab some of the moments. A Tucker clip comes to mind, an Alex Jones clip comes to mind, where Donald Trump's assassination was predicted. There were moments on this show, me and Alex Jones, me and Tucker Carlson. There were moments on this show. Please grab and load them. If you do not mind, I ask you, please. Grab me the Donald Trump assassination predictions by people much wiser than I. District Attorney believes that the person who died was somebody in the crowd. We continue here, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Portnoy is somebody who owns Barstool Sports. He's very rich and successful. You could call him a media media magnate. How has the president of the United States not said a word in over an hour when the former president and current Republican nominee would just survive an assassination attempt? Where is Joe Biden? Biden. Endorse Trump right now, Dave. Do it. Logan Paul, who's one of the most popular influencers on earth and just interviewed President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. To survive an assassination attempt by mere millimeters, then stop your security so you can raise your fist in defiance of death is the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope everyone is okay. Find the shooter. The shooter is dead. The shooter has died. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have on the ground reporting from those who saw and witnessed what happened. And this is incredibly important because the best that we can do is put all the pieces together online for you. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a series of on-the-ground reports so that you can hear exactly what happened as it happened from the attendees. Let's go.
We could see Trump get up, and he gave the, like, I'm okay. And so then we got up. Like, as a true leader, he was, like, leading us.
You could hear him yell to the Secret Service members saying, let me get my shoes. I mean, he wanted to walk away.
There he is leading us like it's okay. You know what I mean? I mean, that gives you goosebumps.
Were you afraid for your safety?
After when I heard the get down, then I realized, yeah, for sure it was for sure shots. But when we started to pray, I felt protected, and I just want to give God all the glory. God gets all the glory that Trump was protected and people were protected. I'm sorry about a fatality. I'm sorry. I pray God comforts those people. We've been praying the whole time since it happened for anybody involved.
Did you see any blood on the former president when he got back up?
I talked to ABC News, and they just said that there was. ABC News said there was someone in his ear, but they said that could have been from secrets. That may not have been his blood, and it may have been from Secret Service getting him down.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. I'm glad that you're okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some more. An image here that I suppose would perhaps not be for the faint of heart, but it is not. It is not. R-rated. It is PG-13. We have here Donald Trump on the ground. You can see Donald Trump on the ground as blood drips down his face as he is completely bodied by Secret Service agents. You can see here the shot of Donald Trump's ear. You can see here that presumably a projectile, was millimeters away from killing Donald Trump. Millimeters away from killing Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, more firsthand witnesses. Let's continue.
And just kind of tell me what you heard.
He tells it better than I do.
Okay, what happened?
Well, we were basically standing. There was a Trump campaign people at the tent right there on the corner, and we kind of went all together towards where he was speaking, as close as you could get. And one of the kids was really tall, so my wife's like, "Hey, can you take this, and get me a picture of him real close?" And next thing you know, as soon as he pointed the camera, all hell broke loose.
Walk me through how many shots, or pops rather, you heard and what you were thinking. I mean, were you afraid for your safety? You're here with your family?
No, I just wanted everybody to be calm and don't panic, because they're not aiming for us. You know what I mean? So.
Do you ever think, you can't.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. There's breaking news right now. My producers are telling me that the shots that we have been incorrect in our assumptions. The shots came from a rooftop, ladies and gentlemen. The shots came from a rooftop that was within sight of the rally. An eyewitness tells BBC that he informed police and Secret Service about a suspicious man on the roof with a rifle. He was ignored. My heavens. This is breaking right now. Let's watch it together.
And listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful, because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
This is an unbelievable new clip, ladies and gentlemen. This is the clip that is absolutely flying across all social media right now. A man, do we have his name? Let's hunt him. Let's get this man's name if we can, or any other clip with him in it. This seems to be the Zapruder, right? The Zapruder of this moment. The man who saw it all happen. You might recall the Zapruder film from the Kennedy assassination, the one man who captured what happened at the Kennedy assassination. This man says that he saw the shooter. The shooter was going army crawling with a rifle across a rooftop. He tried to warn Secret Service and law enforcement time and time again, and nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. By the way, isn't it your only job? I am not one to attack the Secret Service or law enforcement for the love of all that is good on this earth. Is it not your only job to check rooftops and to check people who may be within shot of the protectee? We're going to play you a number of clips of Tucker Carlson predicting to Trump's face, and on our show, Tucker on our show, Alex Jones on our show, Tucker Carlson looking Donald Trump in the face and saying they're going to assassinate you. This man says that he warned law enforcement. This is incredible. This will be the most famous clip on earth. Mark my words. It is the only clip in my feed right now. This man says that he saw the shooter and that they went, quote unquote, and I quote, the Secret Service, after he warned them, after this man got his shots off, Secret Service went and blew his brains out. And I quote, there is some graphic imagery that we cannot play here of the deceased. The man is dead. The shooter is dead. I am at a loss. I do not know what to make of this commentary. Is it not the Secret Service's only job to check rooftops? Is that not why they have massive snipers on the roof? I am, once again, not one. I am not one to criticize Secret Service or law enforcement, but this does seem like their only job. And if this man is saying what I'm thinking he's saying, then the Secret Service ignored a direct threat to the president, a clear and present danger, as it would be called in the profession, and allowed the shots to be fired. Ladies and gentlemen, the shooter killed by Secret Service sniper team. Two additional casualties are taken to Pittsburgh Hospital. Fox News is told. 2 additional casualties. By the way, the shooter was on the roof. There's a considerable number of videos of a body being removed from the roof. One final important update here, ladies and gentlemen. If this is indeed true, then the head of the Secret Service needs to resign immediately. The head of the Secret Service has no choice but to resign, along with potentially every single person, every single agent who was at this event. There is no other option. There is no choice. Enough. Enough with the cocaine at the White House. Enough. Enough with all the lapses in security. Enough. This man says that he warned law enforcement. I'm tempted to just play the clip one more time. I'm tempted to do it. I'm tempted to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Biden will be giving remarks. Okay. When will that be happening? Is that happening now? If it is happening now, then we need to get it up. Let's go. Load it. Get it. Wherever the feed is, load it, get it. If Biden's giving remarks right now, I want it up on the screen as soon as possible. Klein. Okay. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden is apparently giving remarks right now. Robbie, you want to get it up? Forgive us, ladies and gentlemen, as this is a live breaking news environment. Here we go. I want to confirm.
Polls is beloved by Americans. It's because he knows how to handle these kind of situations with grace.
See,
And I think that it will not be difficult for him to separate the campaign from the fact that political or any other violence.
Here he comes. Let's listen in.
Briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And so, and I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that people who, and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if we don't, if I'm not able to, if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get you back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for President safety? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
Breaking all right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Done. Okay. I got to go back. I got to go back to something. So that was President. That was Biden. The last question, the only question that he was asked, and now Barack Obama has made a statement. There's absolutely no place for violence in our democracy, although we don't know exactly what happened. We should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt at the moment and recommit ourselves to civility and respect in politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Obviously, they're going to want to get in front of this. There are reports that Donald Trump was not struck by a bullet. I want to talk through this for just a moment. There are reports that Donald Trump was not struck by a bullet. Now, what do you mean by that? Because we can see the blood coming from his face. Donald Trump is surrounded at all times by protective glass. Donald Trump is somebody who has also various prompters, and allegedly part of what hit Trump, according to one reporter who was there, was shatterings from the glass. So the bullet struck a piece of protective glass, and that glass hit his face. And that is what gives sort of the scratch marks here, as you can see, sort of the lacerations almost of blood on the face. This is from glass shattering and ripping across President Trump's face. I know this seems unbelievable, but Donald Trump is allegedly going to be at the UFC fight tonight with Dana White. Where is that fight? Where is that fight? I want to know. I can't believe it. I can't believe this. Apparently, Donald Trump is going to be at the UFC fight tonight. Incredible. In Denver. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Donald Trump, when we went ringside, we were ringside with Donald Trump in Miami at a UFC fight. And President Trump had done a rally that day. I believe it was in Georgia. President Trump did a rally that day, left the rally, and attended the UFC fight. If Donald Trump shows up, bandages all across his face to the UFC fight, Joe Biden might as well just resign by handing Donald Trump the White. Joe Biden can just resign and just give Donald Trump the White House. Democrats should just bow out and say we will no longer be running this election. We just surrender. Various world leaders, Viktor Orban, he's the president of Hungary. My thoughts and prayers with President Donald Trump in these dark hours. Javier Milei is one of our favorites on this channel. Somebody who is a big fan of Donald Trump. He is the president of Argentina. All my support and solidarity with President Trump, victim of a cowardly assassination attempt that put his life hundreds at risk. The desperation of the international left is not surprising, as today it seems the harmful ideology is willing to destabilize democracies, promote violence, to screw itself into power. In fear of losing at the polls, they resort to terrorism to impose their retrograde and authoritarian agenda. I hope the speedy recovery of President Trump, that the elections of the United States are held fairly, peacefully, and democratically. This was a translation, ladies and gentlemen, from Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. Okay. We have to go back. We have to go back to the clip that has broken the internet. If you want to know what just happened, we know what just happened. Do you want to know what just happened? I'll show you what just happened. I cannot believe this clip. Unless this man, who I have no indication that this man has any reason to ever lie to a reporter, there is a man who right here will tell you that he informed police and Secret Service about a man on a roof with a rifle. The man on the roof with the rifle was eventually killed by Secret Service. They blew his brains out, and I quote, and the Secret Service ignored the warnings and allowed the man with the rifle to fire at least 7 shots, killing 2 that we know of, and wounding Donald Trump, either by striking him with a ballistic or by hitting some type of protective glass around the president and shattering that glass through his face. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to play this clip again. This is the bombshell Zapruder clip of this moment so far. If what this man is saying is true, then the head of the Secret Service must resign immediately. Immediately. Let's listen again.
And listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this indeed is correct, and of course, why would this man be lying? Like, what possible service would this man have to be lying about something like this? Then this is the greatest single law enforcement failure in American history. This side of the Kennedy assassination, but of course, you all know what I think about that. Shooter was about 150 yards from Trump on a rooftop with a direct line of sight to the stage. It defies security protocol. Every security protocol ever written that this rooftop was not secured by law enforcement personnel were not standing up there. So this is a schematic map of where the rally was here in Butler, Pennsylvania. And this is where the shooter would be, right here, inside of what looks to be either a warehouse, a business of an industry or a business, a school or some sort. And here's President Trump. So this would be now the schematic of where the shooter would be and where Trump would be. And why wasn't that roof secure? Why was this roof not secured? Why did Secret Service ignore this man? This guy? Why is that? Remarkable. J.D. Vance, today is not some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Trump is an authoritarian fascist that must be stopped at all costs. The rhetoric leads to President Trump's assassination attempt. J.D. Vance, 7 minutes ago. Joe Biden made some statement. You heard it. Trump Tower is on lockdown, ladies and gentlemen. First, here's Vivek Ramaswamy hopping in. Seems like a somewhat lengthy read, but let's take the top line here, shall we? First, they sued him, then they prosecuted him, then they tried to take him off the ballot. The only thing more tragic than what happened is that, if we're being honest, it wasn't totally a shock. Biden's inevitable ritual condemnation of political violence today, when it comes, will be insufficient and irrelevant. No amount of verbiage today changes the toxic national climate that led to this tragedy. Apoorva, that's the name of Vivek's wife, and I mourn the rally attendee who was apparently killed by the shooter. We believe the fact that President Trump is safe right now is an act of God. My heart tells me God intervened not just for Trump, but for our nation. Today, the future survival of the United States of America came down to less than a hair's width of the path of a bullet. If any good comes of today, let it be this. Americans just had the chance to see our next president's true character unvarnished. He took the fire, he took the hit, he felt the blood, and then he stood right back up for the people to lead. Regardless of who you vote for, let's unite around the truth that what's happened today is unacceptable now and forever. May we remember Thomas Jefferson's words from 200 years ago. A little patience and we shall see the reign of witches pass over and the spells dissolved and the people recovering their true sight restore their government to its principles. It's true that in the meantime we are suffering deeply in spirit and incurring the horrors of war, long oppressions. And if we feel their power just sufficiently to hoop us together, it will be the happiest situation in which we can exist. If the game runs sometimes against us, we must have patience till luck turns, and we shall have an opportunity of winning back the principles of lost for the game where principles are at stake. Vivek Ramaswamy's full statement just up seconds ago. This thing is thermonuclear. Biden declines to call it an assassination attempt. Getting shot in the head versus walking up the stairs. Find the lie. The Biden campaign is pausing political ads targeting Trump following assassination attempt. President Biden on July 8th, 2024. We're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye, says Joe Biden. The words of the President of the United States, now Donald Trump, is shot. Try to defend that rhetoric after what we've just witnessed. Trump coming within a centimeter of being killed. Very, very bad. Dan Bongino, this is a very important take because Dan Bongino worked for the Secret Service. The Secret Service director Kim Cheadle must resign. She was warned about this. She ignored the warnings, says Dan Bongino. Let's see if Dan has any other takes. Of course, Dan Bongino is a former Secret Service agent. Dan Bongino has shared this image. Absolutely disgraceful, says Bongino. And Dan Bongino shared that image. Dan Bongino's great dude. Head of the Secret Service is Secretary Mayorkas of the Department of Homeland Security. That's fascinating. Yeah, it's a great point. Joe is not quite ready to go out on a limb and call it an assassination attempt. Needs a nap for more facts. Incredible. Incredible. Okay. A rooftop with direct line of sight to the podium was left unsecured. U.S. Secret Service, state and local law enforcement ignored alerts from citizens that a shooter was on the roof. I don't know what went on there, but something very, very bad happened behind the scenes. Goodness gracious. Democrats look to strip Secret Service protection from Trump if he's convicted. Isn't that incredible? There is an act right now that sits on the House floor that looks to take away Donald Trump's Secret Service. Look what happened to Donald Trump with Secret Service. Wow. And Donald Trump had made zero. Donald Trump makes zero. Okay, here we go. Another schematic. There's a lot of video of this location, which does, in fact, look like, so this says Inc. So this is some type of business. This was where the shooter was on the rooftop. This is a business of some type, right? You can see them in the parking lot, obviously. And here, this is some type of industrial business. The shooter was right there. This was where Donald Trump was. Anybody in law enforcement? Anybody ever work in law enforcement or the military? You sound off in the chat. Does this seem like a wise setup? Why would this rooftop not be secured? Once again, right here in this area where my cursor is where Donald Trump was speaking. This was where the rally crowd was, and this was where the shooter was. And this can be confirmed through a lot of videos that show the building and the rooftop. So why was that rooftop not secured? Please sound off in the chat. If there is some logical reason why that rooftop was not secured, again, I have a ton of law enforcement in my family. Let me tell you what. I got brothers in blue, literally. I am not one to dog on law enforcement, and I am certainly not one to spit in the eye of Secret Service. I've dealt with Secret Service. I'm engaged with Secret Service a ton. Not trying to go after these guys. But you have the most prominent former Secret Service agent in the world, Dan Bongino, saying that the head of the Secret Service needs to resign because what they did here was ignore all of the warning signs. And then you have eyewitnesses who are saying that the shooter they warned the Secret Service about the shooter and no one did anything. How are you supposed to explain this? Somebody was able to crawl on this rooftop and shoot Donald Trump. Call it what it is. I don't care if it was shrapnel, whatever. Somebody was able to shoot Donald Trump from this rooftop. How are you able to? How are you possibly able to do that? Incredible. Incredible. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There we go. It's already been turned. It's already been. If you don't vote for Trump, you ain't black. Well, there you have it. Okay. Elon Musk has called for the head of the Secret Service to step down. The head of Secret Service, the leader of this security detail, must resign, says Elon Musk, after sharing this clip. Remarkable. Despicable. This just got so much darker. I want to continue with eyewitnesses. We have one or two more, and then we're going to talk about exactly how predictable all of this was. Here we go.
All right, so tell me, you were up on the stage, you were near the former president. What happened?
I was actually with the president about 15, 20 minutes before that awful thing occurred. And my wife and I, my family, were seated front row, just left of stage. And Obviously, a complete 180. You know, we all came in here with smiles and hope for the future, and what's happened today, I'm speechless over. All I can think of right now is that this is representative of the vitriol and the hate that a lot of people in the United States seem to have for people with conservative ideals and principles behind them. And I'm just sorry that it's come to that, and I'm sorry that it's come to that here in Butler County.
Where were you standing when the former president ended up hitting the ground there, right behind that podium?
Was Donald's there? I was standing right on the barrier to the left of the stage, front row. And you know, at first I heard that first crack. I started to look around. I thought it couldn't possibly have been a round. You know, I thought for sure it might have been a firecracker. But I looked at my wife, who's a state police officer. I pushed her down to the ground. On the second one, it sounded to me like it might have been a 22 round or something similar to it. I asked her if she thought it sounded like a 22. She said yes. We just yelled for everybody to get down on the ground and to stay down to allow the Secret Service and law enforcement to do what it is they had to do. We weren't really quite sure what was happening. And unfortunately, just a few feet behind me, there was an unfortunate individual who lost his life to this maniac.
Did you see the person who was shot?
I did. I did see some of that. Of course, I didn't actually see the shot itself. But I did.
So you turn around, so you push your wife down, you look around for your family, you take cover yourself, you see the president get back up, give that fist pump, you turn around and you see somebody in the crowd had been shot.
They were shot, and they were on the bleachers, and it was just a really sad thing to witness. And unfortunately, I understand that individual lost their life.
Was it a man? Was it a woman? What did you see?
From what I saw, was that there was a gentleman there who was shot, and very sad just to witness that. I can't think or imagine what his friends and family must be feeling right now, thinking he was coming here to come and enjoy a day with fellow Republicans, and would end up losing his life. And you know, my thoughts and my prayers go out to his family.
You know all the local officials. I mean, this was federal, state, local. We're all out here responding to this, and they responded quick. Have you heard from any of your partners in the law enforcement area here in Butler County, and what are they saying?
I've heard from a couple individuals, but I just want to say, you know, unfortunately this time I don't want to comment on anything I might have heard, because I don't want anything to be shared that might make it more difficult for law enforcement professionals to get to the bottom of it, and I certainly don't want to make their job any harder. So, you know, at this time I'm going to say that I know everything that you know, ma'am, and we'll keep it at that.
The day that Donald Trump was inaugurated, the day Donald Trump swore on a Bible, January 2017, and became president of the United States. A few feet from where that event happened, within 24 hours of that event happening, one of the most famous musicians on earth got up and said, it's time for us to blow up the White House.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Leftists are a death cult. It is important to call it what it is. They are a death cult for power, in case you're wondering what side of the moral equation you wish to be on. A few months after Madonna decided to say she's going to blow up the White House, and Kathy Griffin held up a severed head of Donald Trump, a crazed gunman, not crazed, a radicalized gunman who was a left-wing activist who worked to elect Democrats for president and physically worked on Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign, shot and nearly murdered a number of members of Congress as they were practicing for the congressional baseball game. Steve Scalise was one of them. For weeks, Democrat leaders have been fueling ludicrous hysteria about Donald Trump winning election would be the end of democracy in America. Clearly, we've seen left lunatics act on violent rhetoric in the past. The incendiary rhetoric must stop. Enough of the words. Like, how many bullets must riddle the bodies of Republican politicians? Steve Scalise, you are somebody who should know that tweets are not going to do it. Steve Scalise was medevaced to the hospital, nearly lost his life. Enough of Republicans just sending mean tweets. Enough. There needs to be an actual reckoning on the people who are accelerating the violence in this nation. Of course, all of Donald Trump's entire presidency, the left burned and raped and ravaged and pillaged and killed and murdered through the streets. And they did so with impunity. because the media wouldn't cover it, because the media liked the outcome. The outcome was get rid of Donald Trump for us, get rid of Donald Trump, anything to get rid of Donald Trump. And they continue to accelerate this, and they accelerate the hysteria, the psyoping of the most smooth-brained people in the country. Meanwhile, gaslighting everybody and saying that the right are the violent extremists. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was one person who was actually killed on January 6th, and that one person's name is Ashley Babbitt. She was unarmed. She's an American veteran, and she was murdered in cold blood by our federal government without warning. Yeah, you tell me who the violent ones are. Something bad is happening here. Steve Scalise was shot and nearly killed. A number of members of Congress were shot and nearly killed. The violent death cult of the left continues apace because, and there's a good reason for this, for them, and if you look at their ideology, because anything is permissible in the pursuit of power. They are not moral people. They're not godly people. They don't believe in an afterlife. They don't believe in anything. They're nihilists by nature. And they wish, they truly, their religion is the destruction of this nation. And the destruction of the people who wish to take power from them is perfectly permissible on this path. Many have educated on this, far smarter than I. Let's begin, ladies and gentlemen. The wise, very wise commentators who have predicted the assassination of Donald Trump, and now those predictions prove completely correct.
What do you think the future holds? Is it?
I don't know.
I mean, are they going to let Trump be president?
No, of course. I mean, look, if, they protested him, they called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times. And every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can't reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. Again, if this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet our government is doing it. It's like it's hard to overstate how bad this is. And I don't know where it's going, but there's a collision that's clearly imminent. And by the way, the president is senile in a way that's impossible to deny. Biden's not running the government, so like, I don't know, man. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Nobody has been more right on this issue than Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson on our program confirming that he knew assassination was what we were barreling towards and why.
They're obviously going to see X as a platform. They're going to try and take X offline and metaphorically assassinate X. You've spoken at length in multiple situations about how you think that we are speeding towards assassination potentially for Donald Trump in his candidacy, because equally Donald Trump speaks hard truths that are uncomfortable for people, and also Donald Trump is a threat to the existing system. Do you really believe that we are on our way to a physical assassination attempt?
Well, I don't know what we're on the way to, but we're certainly on the way to something. I mean, one of, the great lie that we tell ourselves is that our lives in the world are static. They're not. They're always progressing towards something. We don't usually know what it is, but we're always on the road to somewhere. And you just sort of have to ask yourself logically, like, what's next? I mean, the amount of energy and money and time and public attention, all of which are precious commodities, the asshole community has taken to destroy Donald Trump is just astounding. I mean, it's honestly like it's like the moonshot. In fact, they've expended more resources on destroying Trump than they did on getting a man to the moon, assuming you believe that actually happened, and I think it's in question. So it didn't work. That's the point. It didn't work. I mean, when they wanted to stop Bernie Sanders, remember, they kind of seemed to threaten his wife with criminal prosecution. Do you remember that? And all of a sudden, Bernie Sanders is on board with everything, and he stops whining about the billionaires, and he's actually friends with Goldman Sachs now. And like, Deutsche Bank isn't so bad. And like, I'm all in on the war in Ukraine. And of course, we'll take refugees from Gaza. Like, they turned Bernie Sanders into a bitch. And they did that by applying pressure points, of course, which is what they always do. And they've done that to Trump at scale. We're going to put your son in jail. We're going to put your oldest son in jail. And Trump's like, yeah, fuck you. I mean, again, whatever you think of Trump, you don't have to like Trump or even agree with him to appreciate the remarkable resilience in the face of like every power center in the world opposing him, except for like the presidents of El Salvador and Hungary. Everybody's against Trump and he's still standing. So that does raise the question, like, okay, what next? You indict him 4 times. You threaten him with life in prison. These are credible threats, by the way. His trial begins in the middle of the primary season in March, a few months from now. And the guy is still running and he still appears to be unbowed. So, you know, you're kind of reaching to the bottom of your bag of tricks and you find it empty. And it's like, we're threatening you with life imprisonment. Call it off. Drop out. You know, pick a successor and leave. Retire. We'll leave you alone. He won't. So, like, what else are they going to do? I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but, like, why wouldn't they kill him? Seriously.
Why wouldn't they kill him? Says Tucker. Now, the same thing, and we've asked this question before multiple times to multiple people who we know are wise and have been able to predict these things. The same thing was said on our program by Alex Jones. So, Alex, are they going to kill Tucker Carlson?
Next, I heard you on a recent...
Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. Are they going to kill Donald Trump? Here's the answer.
Podcasts say, hey, they may take both Trump. I mean, it seems like we're barreling towards assassination levels with Trump. They may take both Biden and Trump out because they're both so inconvenient. Do you still believe that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that the controlled left does that nobody watches or listens to really anymore that has an IQ above room temperature, they're like, oh, yeah, someone will kill Trump. Ridiculous. That assassination is part of statecraft throughout history. And if they have somebody kill Trump, that can create division between left and right. And then also, I think if they do kill Trump, they're going to kill Biden or try. And then that makes Biden a liability, a martyr. And so, yeah, I if you look at the trajectory of everything they're doing failing and it getting more cartoonesque by the day, I mean, I think it is in the cards. I mean, they got the hit teams ready. I mean, believe me, the deep state has got teams ready to kill Trump, ready to kill Biden. Will they do it by poison? Will they shoot him in the public? They may go the poison route, or they may just go spectacular public execution.
I'm getting chills watching this. This was from Christmas time when we did this. I cannot believe the accuracy of this prediction. They may go spectacular public execution. What did we just witness?
They go the poison route, or they may just go spectacular public execution. Claim a left winger did it. Then claim, oh, Trump supporters did a truck bomb in response. I mean, we're not in Kansas anymore. You look at that southern border, 15,000 a day coming across. It was 12,000 a month ago that we know of. 80% get away. So it's like, many times that. We're talking, 100,000 or more a day. I mean, this is America in collapse. We're a ruling elite. We're trying to fend off the Russians, the Chinese, everybody else, while trying to keep their wife. They've been breaking her arm and knocking her teeth out, slapping her around. And now, at midnight, the wife beating drunk wakes up and he sees his wife with the kids loading into her sister's car, and we're already driving down the road. So, I mean, he can run out and kind of shoot at the car with a shotgun. That'll just give him a bigger prison sentence. We're gone. We're in the car. We got a broken nose, broken arm, and we're never coming back. Democratic Party's over. And I mean, that's it. They're a wife beating, a literal child molesting, devil worshiping group of scum.
I can't believe it. Boys, I need you to get that clip up immediately. I need that up immediately. Alex Jones calling it from 1,000 yards on our program. On our program, Alex Jones, on our in-depth program, our in-depth interview program called In the Arena, with Tenet Media, calling this exact thing happening, spectacular public execution is the route they're going to go. From over 6 months ago, just that clip alone, Alex Jones calling it. Donald Trump asked, will you be assassinated, to his face. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, one of the most watched interviews in American history, Donald Trump asked by Tucker Carlson, are you prepared to be assassinated?
To my original question. So if the protest didn't work, you got elected anyway. Yeah. Impeachment didn't work twice, obviously. Indictment is not working. Your poll numbers go up. When they raided Mar-a-Lago in August of last year, your numbers went up. They can indict you 20 times and you're not gonna lose the Republican primary because of that.
Well, so, it makes it look even more ridiculous. I mean, the 4 indictments, and maybe there'll be more. I don't know. These people are crazy.
But they're counterproductive. So if you chart it out, it's an escalation, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So what's next? After, try to put you in prison for the rest of your life, that's not working. So, don't they have to kill you now?
Yeah. Hey, guys, we're going to need the answer on that clip. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to need the actual answer for what President Trump says after Tucker Carlson makes that assertion. So let's go. Let's go, please. Make sure that these clips have. Let's make sure that these clips have the sort of proper vetting here. Yeah, because I really want to hear the way that the president responds there. The president has responded here, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump on Truth Social. Donald Trump has just put up on Truth Social his first statement since obviously Trump made a statement after getting shot. Trump made a statement directly after being shot. This was Trump's statement after being shot. Fight, I think, is like the fight is the best that I can come up with there for what he had to say. Here's what President Trump has now said on Truth Social. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also the family of the person who was so badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in this country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper right of my ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. President Trump's statement on this moment, accompanied, ladies and gentlemen, by images like this. This is Donald Trump on the floor. Secret Service surrounding him, Secret Service on top of him as blood drips down his face, as blood pours down his face. They'll carve it into Mount Rushmore, ladies and gentlemen. They'll carve this into Mount Rushmore. You're at a loss. You're at a loss for words when you see images like this. I'm not one for tattoos, but I'll just get it. Just get it tattooed. Just be the most iconic image in American history. The most iconic political image in American history. We continue, ladies and gentlemen, with Tucker Carlson predictions of Trump assassinations. Just want to put a pin in it. Who was right? Who was right? And who predicted all of this? And who ratcheted up the temperature so much? Who ratcheted the rhetoric so hot, so high, that this actually could happen?
Someone, who'd be willing to be assassinated to do anything like that. And so as you're choosing your leaders, ask yourself, does this person mean it enough to die? And that's the same question you would ask about your own dad. Does he love me enough to die for me? About your own husband, does he love me enough to protect me from a home invader at risk to himself? Like, the basic prerequisite for leadership is love of the people you lead.
and the willingness to die for them. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be leading, period. It's true in the military, it's true in business, it's true in your home, and it's true in the government. And so no president will fix this unless he's like literally willing to die for it. And short of that, it can't be fixed.
Incredible. Poignant and beautiful from Tucker Carlson as we now see even more sent into our team. Somebody sent us this image from the Trump team. Ladies and gentlemen, a source on the Trump team has given us this image from one of their photographers where you can see the bullet flying through the air. Look at this. You can see the wind that is created in the bullet as it screws through the air. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the bullet that pierced Trump's ear that Trump said pierced the upper part of my right ear. I heard the whizzing sound and immediately felt the ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place. I realized what had happened. God save America. Here you can see the bullet itself. Look at that. Incredible. Incredible. A reminder that leading Democrats introduced legislation to strip Donald Trump of Secret Service protection. These people are unbelievably, these people are true and total scum. Breaking, a source familiar with Trump's security detail tells the Federalist that the former and future president's detail has been asked to be beefed up protection and resources for weeks, but has been rebuffed again and again by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security, which sees Secret Service protection detail, wasn't responsive to those requests for more resources. Biden wanted Donald Trump to die. Joe Biden wanted Donald Trump to die. Was Biden regime behind the attacks, or did they deliberately do everything they could to allow it to happen, developing? Evil. Completely evil. Yeah. What exactly is at play here? Jake Paul, one of the largest influencers on planet Earth. If it isn't apparent enough who God wants to win, when they try and kill God's angels and saviors of the world, they just make them bigger. Good beats evil every time. God beats evil every time as well. Incredible and powerful statements. A source from inside of the hospital where Donald Trump is being treated as we speak. Producers, has Donald Trump left the hospital? I do not believe so. Of course, there's got to be every camera on planet Earth has got to be at that hospital. If Donald Trump has made a statement or makes a statement, of course, you know that we'll be covering it. News from a source, close relative, who is a doctor inside of the hospital, says Henry Rogers, one of the best reporters out there, at Butler Memorial, pardon me, was at the ER when they brought Trump in. Minor ear wound, no broken bones, only seen by a physician. No surgery is needed. No surgery is needed, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Just wow. A image that will be carved on Mount Rushmore one day, I believe. Donald Trump's response to Tucker Carlson looking him in the face and saying, "You will be assassinated." This was from a number of months ago. I believe this was from 6 to 8 months ago. Tucker Carlson saying, "You're going to be assassinated." How does Trump respond?
I'm asking you is, I'm looking at the trajectory since 2015 when you got into politics, for real, and then won. It started with protest.
I want confirmation that this is the right clip, guys. Okay. All right.
Protests against you, massive protests,
Right.
organized protests by the left, and then it moved to impeachment twice.
Right.
And now indictment. I mean, the next stage is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you, honestly?
They're savage animals. They are people that are sick, really sick. You have great people in the Democrat Party. You have great people that are Democrats. Most of the people in our country are fantastic, and I'm.
So Donald Trump calls them savage animals. ALX, I want to confirm that this blurred image of the rooftop I can play here. Again, we have, guys, let me know in the chat. We've been showing some schematics
We've been showing some schematics of the actual rooftop. I want to show you this, ladies and gentlemen.
We can see the guy there.
As Donald Trump calls these people savage animals.
I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead.
This is the rooftop, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see here the blurred image. There are rules across social media again against showing graphic or gruesome violence, and so we do not do it. But here you can see the rooftop, and you can see the body laid bare as it was, and according to the witnesses, as they blew his brains out. Why wouldn't that rooftop be secured? Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm just asking questions. I have every right as an American. I have every right as a human that has an obligation to this audience and an obligation to speak the truth, to ask a question like, why wasn't that rooftop secured? Law enforcement snipers were already facing the direction of the shooter seconds prior to the shooting. I am amazed that they did not see the shooter crawling into position. The shots were from a mere 400 feet away. So I want to look through. Let's look through this clip. Let's look through this clip that was posted. So you can see here, snipers on the rooftops right behind Donald Trump, as these snipers on the rooftops presumably take out the target. I don't know. I'm not a law enforcement professional, but I'm asking, I have every right to ask this damn question. Why wasn't that rooftop secured? Why are people like Dan Bongino, who is a Secret Service agent, who was a Secret Service agent, why is he saying that everyone in the Secret Service should resign, that the head of the Secret Service should resign? Why is Elon Musk, who effectively, who's one of the most secured people on planet Earth, we've seen Elon Musk's security in action. This guy knows a thing or two about security. Elon Musk is saying that these people should all be fired. Why is the Federalist reporting that the Secret Service that protects Trump has been begging for more protection and more resources for weeks and months, and they have been turned down by Joe Biden's Department of Homeland Security? Is Joe Biden about to face another massive scandal because he is turning down and thus opening up the possibility or probability of President Trump's assassination? New, I just spoke to Donald Trump Jr., who tells ABC News that he has spoken to his father, who remains at the hospital. Don Jr. said his father is in good spirits. He remains under observation, adding his father is never gonna stop. Never gonna stop. And again, we've just read the Donald Trump statement here on what is happening. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, outside of the hospital here, we have footage outside of the hospital in Butler, Pennsylvania, of supporters gathering outside of the hospital in support of President Trump. A makeshift memorial to President Trump, by every available report, has not suffered any type of life-threatening injury, but a makeshift support and rally is now gathering outside as the sun sets in Butler, Pennsylvania. Really an incredible series of events. President Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, also coming in and making a statement. Thank you for your love and prayers for my father and the other victims of today's senseless violence. I am grateful to the Secret Service and all other law enforcement agents with their decisive actions. I continue to pray for our country. I love you, Dad, always. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. This is the post and is now on the screen. Let's go to the Secret Service official statement. The Secret Service has released a statement. 1 spectator was killed. 2 spectators were critically injured. The incident is currently under investigation. The Secret Service has formally notified the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is the official statement.
The first statement was just a single line that we read at the top of the hour. Here we go. During former President Trump's campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, in the evening of July 13th at approximately 6:15 p.m., a suspected shooter fired multiple shots toward the stage at an elevated position outside of the rally. From an elevated position outside of the rally, he was on a rooftop that should have been secure. There's no other way to explain it. He was on a rooftop that should have been that should have been secure. It is truly, truly remarkable how you couldn't secure a rooftop directly across from President Trump. Insane. The U.S. Secret Service personnel neutralized the shooter, who is now deceased. U.S. Secret Service quickly responded to the protective measures. The former president is safe and evaluated. One spectator was killed. 2 spectators were critically wounded. The incident is currently under investigation. It's formally notified the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I am not looking to point blame right now. I think that that is a fool's errand. We don't know enough. We're seeing images like this where you can see the bullet whiz by Trump's head. If that had been his neck or his skull, he'd be dead. That's how close we were. That's how close. Listen to the pops.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. We ready?
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage.
Why was this man able to get off 7 shots? Why was this man able to crawl onto a rooftop that wasn't secured within rifle range of the president? I'm a bit of a nerd on the JFK assassination. I don't claim to be any expert. I ravenously consume information about the JFK assassination. And this has echoes of it. Just has echoes of it. JFK was killed. Donald Trump did not suffer life-threatening injuries. He had a part of his ear blown off. He had blood dripping down his face, but he still did the... Fight. Fight. That's what he's saying. Fight. Fight. The most remarkable moment in American political history. And then Donald Trump leading a USA chant after being led off stage. Incredible. I have to see it again. Watch. Trump goes USA as he's being led off stage. Trump leads a USA chant as he's being led off stage. An breathtaking moment in American history. And it is, while it is
while it is remarkable that Donald Trump has that in him, that beast in him, that animal in him, that lion in him, to do that in moments like this. Why did we get to this moment? Why was Donald Trump within a centimeter of being murdered today? How is that possible? How much money do you and I, because of course the money that is spent by our federal government is created off our backs, off the stripes of our backs. Our work is what actually creates a federal budget to protect our presidential candidates. How much money has been spent on Donald Trump's Secret Service protection? Hundreds of millions of dollars? Hundreds of millions of dollars? And yet he gets shot today. Seems like a pretty bad return on investment. Why wasn't the rooftop secure? Why? Why wasn't the rooftop secure? An important question. An important question. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is something that needs to be repeated. This is the video of the day. The man saying, no, like, we saw the shooter. We saw the man who was army crawling with a rifle. We warned Secret Service. Nobody did anything.
For 2-3 minutes, Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this, and next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
So this man saying that he warned Secret Service about what happened, about what was about to happen, that they kept warning Secret Service about some gunman on a rooftop. Here is another schematic. This is, of course, going to be studied with incredible sophistication, and probably far more sophistication than we have with the Kennedy shooting. Although with the Kennedy shooting, it's, I mean, every square inch of the grassy knoll has been covered by individuals who wish to find the truth about John F. Kennedy's assassination. Here is the shooter. Here is the 430 yards. Here is the blood on the bleachers. So what this means is that somebody was struck here and somebody, God forbid, was tragically killed here. God help them and pray for their families. A Trump supporter who was just innocently in the stands was killed there. According to the Secret Service, two others were also hit here in the bleachers. So you can see here the line of sight from the top of this industrial incorporation. I don't know what business this is. He shot from the roof. He hit Donald Trump here on the stage. This rooftop was not secure for some unspeakable reason. That unspeakable reason is being spoken by Sean Davis of The Federalist, who is the executive editor of The Federalist, ladies and gentlemen, CEO and co-founder of The Federalist, but a very wise and very connected individual in Washington, D.C. Breaking, a source familiar with Trump's security detail says The Federalist that the former and future president's detail has been asking for beefed up protection and resources for weeks, has been rebuffed time and time again by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security, which oversees Secret Service protection detail, was not responsive to those requests for more resources, the source said. But was Biden's regime behind the attack, or did they deliberately do everything they could to allow it to happen? What a question. What a question. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some good news for you. Some good news for you. The good news is that Trump has left the hospital by all available information that we have right now. This is the Allegheny Hospital outside of Allegheny General Hospital in Pennsylvania. Source tells that President Trump was brought to Allegheny Hospital. He was rushed off the stage in Butler. Moments ago, we saw the motorcade leaving. We are working to confirm that Trump has left the hospital. This helicopter is allegedly Donald Trump leaving the hospital via helicopter to be taken back to his waiting plane. We'll see. We have, the Donald Trump's plane. You can track when it takes off, when it leaves an airport. So we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But we have footage of the motorcade leaving the hospital. Of course, they wouldn't leave the hospital without Donald Trump. So this is the motorcade leaving Allegheny General Hospital just seconds ago. So this is extremely, extremely positive news for those of you who've been praying in the audience, an answered prayer. Donald Trump's motorcade leaving once again the hospital. Donald Trump either with them safe, or Donald Trump inside of, and this is the hospital facility there, inside of this helicopter as a helicopter flies off. And of course, a helicopter would be a very, very fast, very safe way to get Donald Trump very quickly up and out and from point A to point B. The president takes a helicopter from the White House to his plane. We do not know if Donald Trump is in this helicopter. We do not know. We're not certain. It does look like someone official is in that helicopter, but it's pure speculation. It's pure speculation at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Okay. So we are once again very proud, very happy and glad to report that President Trump has no life-threatening injuries, that President Trump has no broken bones, that President Trump did not require surgery, that President Trump was treated for a part of his ear getting blown off, and that President Trump is now left the hospital and been discharged, getting a clean bill of health. This is an answer to prayer. When we started this live, just mere minutes after Trump was struck by a bullet, we did not know any of these things. So here we have the most up-to-date video, and you can see there the motorcade beginning to depart. President Trump heading back, according to some, Donald Trump may be heading to the UFC bout tonight. A remarkable moment. Okay. All right. We are, again, waiting for confirmation that Donald Trump is safely on his plane and can then go to Bedminster, can go to Mar-a-Lago, or can go to wherever he plans on going to. The UFC is in Denver, which seems like pretty. Okay. All right, good. ALX has told me. So Charlie Kirk put up that Trump was going to a UFC tonight. This is not the case. ALX is saying that this is not the case. Presumably, and for very good reason, Donald Trump will not be making any further appearances tonight. So not the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are an enormous amount of failures tonight. James Comer saying, I have contacted the Secret Service. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, putting this up. This is Chairman James Comer with government oversight. Contacted the Secret Service for a briefing. I'm calling on the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, to appear for a hearing. The Oversight Committee will send a formal invitation soon. My prayers are with President Trump, the victims of the assassination attempt, on today's rally in Pennsylvania. I want to thank the brave Secret Service members who put their lives at risk to protect President Trump and all the American patriots in the audience who helped others who were hurt. Political violence in all forms is un-American, unacceptable. There are many questions and Americans demand answers. Chairman Comer was just on our show this week. We perhaps look forward to having him on our show as we head to the RNC tomorrow. Oh, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman Comer up with this just 1 minute ago. Okay, good. How can you not resign in disgrace? How can you not resign in disgrace after this? These are the snipers taking out, apparently taking out said killer. An incredible series of photographs here by a photographer for the New York Times. His name is Douglas Mills. Here, Douglas Mills shows President Trump getting struck and then the blood on his hand. So President Trump being struck by the bullet and the blood on his hand. Wow. Chilling. It's sobering because the last thing you want to do here is get caught up in the fact that Donald Trump survived. That is merely by the grace of God. That is purely by the grace of God. The important question that needs to be asked after you say a prayerful thank you that Donald Trump is not currently dead right now, and could have with a millimeter, with just a different, with like a single gust of wind on a bullet, a butterfly wing flapping, quite frankly, can move a bullet, and that bullet could have pierced President Trump's skull or neck, and he may not be with us right now were that the case. Obviously, you don't dare even think about it, but it's not my job to think about these kind of things. It's the Secret Service job, and you and I spend billions a year on the salaries for the people of the Secret Service to ensure that these kind of things don't happen. How did the U.S. Secret Service leave a vantage point so vulnerable? Can somebody who knows please comment on this normal procedure? Here's President Trump. Again, I can't get over this. This is President Trump speaking right here, and here's the shooter. You're just going to leave this rooftop, just going to stay open? There's no other buildings really around. So you're going to leave like the one elevated vantage point, which the Secret Service says, and you're just going to leave that wide open? I'm not a law enforcement professional, all right? I don't know these things, but I need this answer. I need this answer immediately. Immediately. What exactly is happening here? The whole thing is an effing failure. The Secret Service got there slow. The SWAT team got there slow. Why did they keep him on stage? Wow. Incredible. President Trump's motorcade leaving the hospitals. Alex, have we confirmed that yet? Are we completely confirmed on that? That they have left the hospital. That President Trump is completely is gone and back within the care of his own team and is safe. All right. I want that confirmed, but we do have video of this. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to repeat and can absolutely confirm, says Dan Bongino, the U.S. Secret Service Director, Kim Cheadle, has repeatedly turned down requests for a larger security footprint around President Trump. Despite knowing the threat level, this is catastrophic. Resign tonight. You should. You absolutely should. You should resign tonight. So now everybody is posting this video of the sniper taking out the would-be assassin. Director Kimberly Cheadle. This is the woman in charge of the Secret Service. How? I don't know. I don't know. She's in charge of a workforce of over 7,000 agents. Prior to her appointment, Ms. Cheadle served as Senior Director of Global Security at Pepsi Company, where she was responsible for directing and implementing security protocols for the company's facilities. She worked for Pepsi? You're joking. The head of Secret Service, the head of Secret Service, was a Pepsi employee? That's what she did? This is from the government website. This is from secretservice.gov. Okay. Got it. Well, incredible. I never want to hear another word about January 6th, trespassing after today. Done, over, finished, case closed. That's exactly right. Difficult to overstate how lucky we are that he is not mortally wounded. Almost every firearm experts know how shocked that everybody should be that President Trump is even alive. Oh, man. A remarkable photo showing the bullet whizzing by President Trump. Look at that. Look at that. That's how close. God has his hand on Trump. That's the only way. That's it. That's the only way to. That's the only way to. That's it. This is the only. This is the only possible conclusion that you can come to here. All right, guys. ALX, Robbie, Danny. If there's anything else, I highly doubt that we're going to see President Trump any other time tonight. There was some speculation that he may be appearing somewhere. That speculation turned out to be completely false. So, of course, we were sort of wanting to stay in a holding pattern to ensure that we didn't miss anything from the president. And so, right now, I want there's other witnesses, but we've already heard some of the witnesses who were who were bloodied and who were saying that people got hit in the head by bullets. What could have happened to Donald Trump? You're looking at how close we were to that happening to President Trump. Boys, do we have? Is there any other breaking news on this moment? I want to be sure that we cover absolutely everything and get our angles completely correct. Eric Trump texting into Fox News a message about his father.
I just received a text from the Trump family, and I'm going to read it word for word because it's not that long. It's Eric Trump, the son of Donald Trump, who says, my question was, how's Dad? His answer was, toughest guy I've ever met. That from the medical facility in Pennsylvania.
Toughest guy I've ever met. Why not go out with, why not, ladies and gentlemen, play Kid Rock? Why not? Kid Rock When that's loaded, let's pop it up. Kid Rock, big time Donald Trump fan. Obviously, somebody who cares a lot about this country and is an incredible patriot himself. Kid Rock's response to this just published. 50 Cent, along with a ton of other influencers, have all sent their commendations and their prayers for the president. Let's listen to Kid Rock here.
You with Trump, you with me.
Okay, well, I've been reading the chat. I think there's a lot of people who believe and think the exact same way. I do right now have a request for you. I do have a request for you. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll do anything and everything we possibly can to ensure that we are live and delivering the best and most accurate news. It is our obligation to you. Like and share and subscribe, but please subscribe to our channel. We are constantly live and have the best production team, I would argue, on the entire internet, who can capture events like these and moments like these and can get you the information that you need, because information is power. With that, ladies and gentlemen, a quick thought on this. Politics is a game of life and death. Presidents can have the power to order men to war. They have the power to make your lives miserable. They have the power to make your children destitute. The decisions inside of politics that are made by politicians can affect all of us, and that is why it is so incredibly important. This is why I don't know. I don't live too far away from Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. I don't know who the quarterback is for the Bucs. I don't care. I don't. I don't. Because that can't actually change or hurt or harm my life. Politics can. It is a deadly game. And it's something that can change. If you're a parent, and I'm a parent of 3 young, beautiful children, it's a game that can really affect you. Your children can be ordered to go die in a sandbox somewhere so that a couple people at Halliburton or Raytheon get some extra points on their stock portfolios. Or their lives could just be made totally miserable, and so can yours. Politics is a very important game. It's a deadly game. It's a game of life and death. And it always has been. It always has been. It's why we pay attention to it so closely, and why we deeply appreciate if you would subscribe to our channel. But more importantly here, because the stakes are so incredibly high, you need to be sure that you are voting for someone and you are selecting somebody for office who is willing to die for what they believe in. Would you be willing to die for your family? Yes, of course you would, because you're a moral person. You care about your children. You care about your wife, your kids, your mother, your father. You would be willing to die for your family. Well, if you're electing a leader, they are the head of this national household. That person should be willing to die for this country. And Donald Trump just proved that he is willing to die for this country, to die for what he believes in, and that he's running for office. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, they needed the office of the presidency. Donald Trump didn't and doesn't. Donald Trump's a billionaire that could buy his own island anywhere he wanted to and live forever in a lap of luxury, private jets, champagne, caviar, not a single care in the world. Donald Trump didn't need this, but we needed Donald Trump. We needed Donald Trump. Boys, can you please load the Tucker, the Tucker Carlson advertisement that sort of explains this in a better than my poor capacity to do so. We needed Donald Trump.
Donald Trump didn't need us, didn't need this nation, didn't need this office, right? Needed this nation, but didn't need this office, didn't need to do this. This alone, the fact that this man is willing to die and is so triumphant in the face of death for his beliefs, this alone should be enough to win all 50 states for President Trump. I predict a 50-state landslide. I predict more scandals. I predict that and we've been pretty good on predictions, actually, over the past couple of months. We've seen pretty much all of them come true. And I just played you Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson clips from our show predicting what we just saw today, the assassination of President Trump. I predict that there is going to be a scandal that spins wildly out of control for the Department of Homeland Security, stripping funding from Donald Trump's Secret Service. I'm seeing that. I am seeing those sabers rattle all across my social feed. I think this is going to be a massive scandal. The assassination and the death of their primary political opponent. I think we're going to see Donald Trump poll numbers skyrocket. And I think we're going to see a world remade. And we're going to see this nation saved. There's a change in the vibe, the energy change. You can feel it, man. You can feel it. Are you alive? Do you have a soul? If you're alive and you have a soul, you felt the spiritual energy change in this nation. And so join me, join our team in doing what we must do to save our family, which is to elect somebody who's willing to die for us. This man is willing to die for us. We've speculated that before on this program, and now we know, as a matter of fact, that President Trump is willing to die for us. The least that we can do is show up and cast a vote for him and bring our family and bring our friends to make sure that we have somebody who's willing to protect us, who's willing to die for what he believes in office. And why is that important? It's important because politics is a game of life and death. And I don't care how old you are. I'm in my mid-30s, and I've lived through most of my life. America's been at war and sending men like me to war. It's a matter of life and death. I don't care how old you are. You know this. You know this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, elect the man who's willing to die for what he believes in. Elect the man who's willing to die for us. That should be enough. And I'll begin the petition today to make this image carved into the mountainside of Mount Rushmore. That's my final bold prediction. This is going to be the Mount Rushmore imagery and iconography for Donald Trump. Many questions that we cannot answer right now. President Trump is safe. Why does President Trump keep going? And why is it so damn important to all of us? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll let somebody much wiser, smarter, more eloquent than me take us out. His name is Tucker Carlson. He's the person who's been right about President Trump's assassination attempt. He's the person who's been right about this all along. And he sums up this movement and this moment perfectly. Why they cannot defeat President Trump. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The best political ad ever created. And may God bless you, and may God protect President Trump tonight through November, and may God bless this nation. It's your boy Benny. Enjoy. See you. Pray for Donald Trump.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them. The country they built, the country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years, has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's faults, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. At least he doesn't hate them for their weakness. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. That was true 4 years ago when Trump came out of nowhere to win the presidency, and it's every bit as true right now. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If the people in charge had done a halfway decent job with the country they inherited, if they'd cared about anything other than themselves, even for just a moment, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.